What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I'm going to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. Right now we're sitting at $11,006. We're down 0.92%. And what I wanted to do today, I wanted to look at the bullish things that are taking place and the bearish things that are taking place for Bitcoin right now. And I also want to talk about the direction that I see Bitcoin going. So if you get some from these videos, guys, you learn something, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You've been really helping me out with those 200 thumbs up. Trying for it again in this video, and we'll just keep it rolling. Not able to get into all the altcoins today right now because of that tree that got struck by lightning. Got a bunch of people coming in giving me some estimates, and as you know, big tree work and all that stuff is not fun and it's not cheap. So happy everything's okay. Thank you guys for all the prayers, but it just kind of sucks. And now you got to deal with all this and everything else. So wanted to get into this for you guys. First of all, I want to talk about the bullish side for Bitcoin and the things that are taking place. Number one, we have had a true trend line break right here. And you can see, guys, that it came on a lot of volume as well above average volume. And I really like to see that because that was our macro downtrend that we've been dealing with. Now, I wanted to point out that it is common. This can happen. Sometimes it takes about 9 to 11 days on average. We can actually back test that breakout point before we get moving again. So that is a possibility. Now, could Bitcoin be so bullish that basically we've had this pump up and we just move sideways, just like we did back in this area here, guys, where you either move sideways or you have a very quick drop and then you get moving again. Very quick drop, get moving again. And to me, it would be healthy for us to cool down a little bit. Our RSI is still at about 77 right now. So these markets, they need to breathe when they make these big pumps. I don't want the market to go straight up vertically. That's how we had so much trouble or got into so much trouble last time and why we had almost a 3-year bear market. Right? You don't want anything to just go straight up in the air. You want it to have that support areas where you're making support and then resistance and then breaking through resistance, turning it into support. That's what that stair-stepping pattern. That's what I want to see for Bitcoin. Healthy areas to where when we have these pullbacks, there's spots where you're going to find support as opposed to just going straight up and straight down. That's the last thing that I want to see. But on the bullish side, we have had a trend line break in the macro sense. That's a big deal. It came on high volume. We're up above all the moving averages. From our 9 moving average all the way to our 200. Trend is up, and we broke out of this consolidation, which was so important. As a lot of people don't realize how important it is that we had an upside break out of this. This was, 2-3 months of consolidating sideways. If this move here would have been to the downside, things could have gotten so ugly so fast. So let's count our blessings here that we've had this break to the upside. Next thing I want to talk about is just how common it is for this back test once you get down in this area. Now, if we do back test, a lot of the times it can actually hurt performance. It doesn't say we're not going to get up above that 11,000 again, but it will hurt the performance in the overall run. If we just move sideways right now and we just consolidate before that next pump, I definitely see us going up to around that 12,387. It's just how much we're going to cool down is what I'm looking at here. If you get into the technicals for Bitcoin, right here, you can see we have a 3 sell, 7 neutral, 18 buy. This is on the 1-day time frame. Oscillators 2 sell, 6 neutral, 3 buy. Moving averages 1 sell, 1 neutral, 15 buy. So things are looking pretty decent right here. And guys, that's where we just want to continue this trend. We don't want this to be some type of fake out, which I don't think it is because it would have been a 5% fake out. Typically, you break out of the trend line, you go about 5%, and then you fail. If we take a look at from where we broke out here, we actually ended up going about 16%. Up right there. So for us, if we cooled back down, I would want to see us hold $10,500. If we didn't hold that, then that $10,000 psychologically, for me, I never want to break down below $10,000 again for Bitcoin. That's the key. Hold $10,000 as support. It's acted as overhead resistance for so long. Okay, so we have to be aware of those things. We have to be aware. It could be little tweezer tops up here. A lot of these candles, we had a doji candle close to a shooting star candle. Now potentially a tiny little hanging man candle, depending on where this ends up closing today. But they're very small, tight candles. So that's where I'm saying a lot of these explosive moves, guys, we really, when Bitcoin's pumping hard, we don't get massive retracements. It's a lot of times we'll just move sideways. And I want to give you an example of that. If we go back over into this area when we first had our major pump, just like this this area, we broke through the 200 moving average, and you see basically the cooling off period for the RSI. We were basically just moving sideways, even up a little bit. So sideways this entire time, down a hair, and then we had that next explosive move. Kind of same deal in here. A lot of the times Bitcoin, when it's really making those strong moves up, it just tends to consolidate sideways or drop down a little bit, maybe to that 0.236 Fibonacci, that 0.382, and then it rips again. So that's what we have to be aware of. You know, if this is really going to get moving like that, look at this pump here, guys. We pumped up. We had about 5 days sideways. Then we pumped again. 5 days sideways, pumped again. That's just kind of the name of the game. So I am paying attention greatly to this area. If you're a longer-term investor, this is definitely where you want to continue to hold. Right? This isn't financial advice, but you want to continue to hold, be in those positions. Right now, if you're a short-term trader, you're seeing some tweezer tops. You're seeing, you know, the RSI is pretty high up in this area with these candlesticks. We had a little bit of selling pressure up in this area with the doji. I'm sure some people are taking profits in that area after getting this pump, and then they're waiting to see if we're going to have that next pop to the upside or if we're going to get a little pullback there and see if we can find some support. So, you know, guys, it's going to be explosive here. The next move that Bitcoin makes is going to be very aggressive. So we have to be aware. We have to try to get over top of, in my opinion, would be roughly about that 11,415. And then we could be up around $12,000 in terms of support. Let's hold 10,500, then around that 10,000. So if you guys get something from this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, my friends.